Awesome. Welcome, everyone. Welcome. Well, we still have a few more friends coming. So today we're going to talk about back to school. So it's just generally oils and things to do to help children. Okay, so if you have questions, feel free to ask. All right, let's get started. So what we're going to cover today is immune boosting, gut health and mental clarity. We're going to talk about focus and grounding and learning, mood management, sleep, lice. That's not pleasant, but we need to talk about it, and more stuff. Just a few more things, okay, to help our kiddos. So here are my kiddos. This was a couple of years ago. My oldest daughter is now a missionary in Arizona, so we can't have all four in a picture. But yeah, we've been using oils for 11 years, and it's changed our life. It's helped us be more relaxed and happy. My kids haven't been so sick that we had to go to the doctors for anything besides fractures. We have 2 fractures and you have to go to the doctor for that one. You know, we have wellness checkups and school physicals and stuff, but otherwise, you know, we're able to take care of things on our own with, you know, a few oils and things. So I'm really grateful that I've learned this lost art, and I want to help people learn it too. We want to talk about the oils, the essential oils that we use in our family, and it's called doTERRA for those who don't know the brand. I'm biased, I know, but it's most tested and most trusted. And our essential oils that we use is very high grade, and it's a therapeutic certified pure, and it's tested grade, okay? So we have certified pure tested grade here. The APRC was the one that used to be the third-party testers for doTERRA, and now they've actually merged with doTERRA. But you can actually go to source2u.com and find out, you know, where their oils are from, and then its chemical constituents, so that you are for sure know what's in the bottle. Okay. So if it says peppermint and it's just peppermint, if there's no fillers, it goes straight from the grower to doTERRA, the company, and then the company helps distill it and sends it straight to us. So very few stops and middlemen, so that you know, we get the most pure, unadulterated product. And that's very important because we want to use oils that are super pure for our children, okay? With no fillers and pesticides, herbicides, and things. So first of all, here's my most popular blend. This is the, oops, sorry, you guys, can you please mute? Yeah. This is the immunity blend here. Okay. So 5 drops of On Guard, 4 drops of
No.
sorry guys, I need somebody to mute themselves. Okay. All right, so On Guard, oregano, frankincense, tea tree or melaleuca, and arbor vitae. So if you have little children, you know, you can use this blend or a blend called Stronger. Okay, so you can put that blend in a roller bottle and roll it on the bottom of their feet. The feet is the most porous area, so it absorbs the oils within seconds. If you have kids that are in middle school, you want to multiply it by 2 or 3. And then when you have older kids and teens, you know, you want to probably mix it, multiply it by 4 times to make it stronger. So I used to make bottles that are color coded for each child, so that they know which bottle's theirs, and then I know who's using it and who's not. So you use it in the morning and at nighttime, but use it daily and it'll keep, you know, their immunity strong. Okay. Any questions about this?
How do we find, you said that the immunity was like sorry, I'm looking at my notes, the oregano, On Guard, tea tree, melaleuca, and there was one other one. How do we know what the oh, there it is. Okay, I couldn't see the screen. I'm on my phone. Mine has my computer, so I'm on my phone. Okay, there it is. Never mind. Sorry.
Arbor vitae, yep. And then you can buy the empty roller bottles from doTERRA as well in the back office. Yeah. and just fill it up with fractionated coconut oil, whatever space you have left, and then roll it on. I think my sister and I think a few others have this massive bottle because that you don't have to remake it so much. So that's a good idea too. We broke ours a long time ago and I haven't replaced it. Diffuse the oils daily, especially when your kids come home. Diffuse it, have them smell it, it's in the air. When they have friends over, diffuse so that the air is clean and it kills all the airborne pathogens. Be on guard, they've tested it and it was like 99.99% effective against airborne pathogens. So that's awesome. All right. So just be doing that daily, and it's something so simple, but it makes a huge difference. Yeah. So the next thing is nourishing the cells. Okay, keep the cells clean. Especially for your teenagers, they have acne and then they're tired and they're growing. So I tell people, try to do as many raw things, have a salad or whatever. But if we have quality cells or healthy cells, it will make healthy tissues, and healthy tissues make healthy organs. And that's the idea. We need to put raw quality materials inside our body to make, quality skin, hair, nails, bones, blood, right? I teach my kids to eat intuitively. So if they are full, they need to stop. If they're hungry, they can eat. So sometimes you have growth spurts. So if they're hungry, eat more. But yeah, just feel it instead of having to finish your plate. Sometimes we overeat when we do that. Consider supplements for your children because we don't get enough nutrients in our diet. As good as we eat, sometimes we're still missing some things. So sometimes when we are unwell, we're sick, or our hair is not strong and thick and our nails are peeling and stuff, it's not a health problem, it's just a nutritional deficiency problem. A lot of behavior problem is a nutritional deficiency problem as well. Okay, so if you're unable to sleep, if you're irritated a lot, that could be a nutritional deficiency issue, and that can be remedied very easily. So just be mindful of that. Okay. Cook and eat family meals together daily. I remember, I don't remember the meals, but I remember the memory of sitting there talking to my siblings and my parents at the end of the day. And my dad, he doesn't speak English very well, and my mum doesn't speak English as much as he does. So when we rehash our day, it's sort of like us reviewing school and learning Vietnamese. But I just remember the love and the support and the security I felt when we were able to come together and see each other and talk to each other about our day. So if you can, cook and eat meals. I have moms who tell me, well, I'm so busy, I can't cook and stuff. I'm suggesting perhaps, there are other things in our life that we can probably eliminate. It is not as important. So for me, I realized that I don't have to have my kids in, 5 different, extracurricular activities and being super busy all the time. We cut back and we just chose one activity a week, and we spent a lot more time together, and it pays off because you're marinating your kids in love, and when they get older, they're juicy, right? And they're happy. Okay, so consider that. Okay, so if we have healthy diets, it helps detox our body and brain. When we sleep, our brain, it actually shrinks and it actually flushes itself. So it really helps with learning. And of course, it really prevents disease. Teach your children to receive love by being the example of a person that receives love. I'm learning more about that now. But when you do learn how to receive well, you're able to absorb nutrients better. Okay, so if your kid or you are deficient in something, iron or calcium or whatever, you just know that it'll improve the absorption if you choose to receive more love. Okay, and not have love as a condition. a conditional love thing. Okay. Any questions so far? Any comments? All right. So communicate and explore together why we should eat healthy. So what I like to do is I teach kids principles. Instead of don't eat that, you're not allowed to eat that, that's unhealthy, only eat this. The kids don't have buy-in. So if you kind of talk to them about, food and ask them, why do we eat healthy? Why should we have a healthy body? And when they have buy-in and they agree with it, you'll find that they're sticklers and they're really good at taking care of their own health. So for us, our why is that when we have a healthy body, we're able to choose better. We're able to find more happiness. And because God gave us our body, we want to show our appreciation by taking good care of it. So, the kids had to come up with those answers. And once they do, we have buy-in, okay? So, just have your own conversation and talk about things like that. Okay. All right, so here are the supplements that doTERRA has. I have teenagers now, so they can start taking the Life on Vitality pack. So I tell them to take as many as they want. So usually they just do one of each. So my older daughter, she's 17 now, she does two. But, it's intuitive. You just help them kind of feel it out. And for the little kids, we have the A to Z. It's the chewable and the IQ Mega. For the IQ Mega, try to put them in the fridge so that of course, after you open it, you need to put it in the fridge anyways, but it tastes better. They smell the orange and then they just spoon it into their mouth and that's it. Okay. I give my kids Zendocrine and Terrazyme. The Zendocrine, both Zendocrines, because it helps them, detox. I know teenagers, they tend to eat unhealthy at times. And then they have acne and then just, bad skin. And so when I tell them this will help you clear out your skin, I don't have a problem with them, taking it because they like doing it. Citrus oils like lemon oil in water helps you absorb the water better because our brain needs a lot of hydration as well. So keep that hydration up for mental clarity. Okay, so of course that healthy diet, the supplement, citrus in water, enzymes. Enzymes help repair tissues and it helps with your kids when they have growth spurts because they're building tissues and muscles and things, so the enzymes help with that. And we have two types of probiotics. It's the PBAssist Plus, and that's a double capsule that is released in your gut. So the probiotic is released there because it kind of bypasses the stomach acid, okay? And the PBAssist Junior is a sachet and it tastes like candy, but there's no sugar, so that's good. All right. Any questions? So the Zendocrine is an endocrine support. And the benefits are that it helps with clear skin, it helps with focus and learning, mental clarity, hormone balancing, it helps manage the mood, okay, so less irritability. Okay. And overall, when your body is healthy and nourished, you have a higher, chance of having self-acceptance and self-awareness. I don't want to use the word self-esteem, but it helps you with more confidence. Anyone want to say anything? Any comments? Go ahead, Jamie.
The fiber also has prebiotics and protein has probiotics as well.
Yep, so the supplements, yep.
The nutrition line.
It's nutrition line. So if you guys are looking for there's a powder and it's the fiber powder that it has the probiotics and the enzymes as well in there. So that's good. Yeah. All right. Okay. So for sleep, diffuse the oils. Sometimes I feel like my kids have this kind of a spa treatment every day. You know, our kids are pretty blessed. So we'll put oils in the diffuser before bed, and then, you know, rub some Adaptive or Serenity on their feet or on their pillow, and that helps them sleep. When they're too stressed out, you know, you can use Magnolia or Vetiver or cedarwood. What you do is you just have your kids smell it. You know, if they say, "Oh, I like this one," you know, put it on the bottom of your feet, on the big toes, or diffuse it. So yeah, but most of the time these kids, they sleep well. But if your kids can get enough sleep and sleep deeply, it'll really help them with learning and growth and mood. Questions and comments? Yep, it's pretty straightforward. Yeah, but you know, it's easy to do and easy not to do as well. Okay. All right, so for the growing pains and
Can I add something
please, yeah, go ahead.
to the previous slide?
Yep.
One oil that I use quite often for my kids is juniper berry, because well, my little one tends to get a lot of nightmares, and so she wakes up in the middle of the night screaming and stuff, and so I like to use that on her tummy before bed. And I do put it on Savannah as well, the older one, but not as often. But yeah, juniper berry is something we use daily as well.
Yeah, that's good. A good reminder, Jamie. My twins, they started having night terrors, and only for a couple of weeks. But yeah, they had it when they were in second, third grade. And yeah, we used the juniper berry. They smelt it and they put it under their tongue. Yeah, and it made a huge difference, because they would wake up crying and stuff, and it was, you know, they couldn't wake up from it sometimes. So yeah, just keep that in mind, juniper berry. Okay. All right, so here you are, the growing pains and muscle support. Okay, so you have all the deep blue line, and then we have lemongrass. Now this is hot, so you know, if you've got kids that have sensitive skin, you want to dilute it. Aroma Touch is not so hot, but you can use that too, and you can layer it on. You have Douglas fir, a balsam fir, Siberian fir, or the tree oils, and copaiba. So Siberian fir, copaiba, those are really gentle, as in on your skin, but it's very powerful. So my girls, because we're girly, we like to put it on us and then soak in an Epsom salt bath. So yeah, you might want to try that. Okay. And the Epsom salt helps your body draw in the oils better, and it helps relax the muscles. So my girls do weightlifting, so they're straining their muscles a lot, and they recover faster when they do this often. Okay, so I think they have their own deep blue rub, and then we also now have a deep blue stick. So that's really good. For the younger kids, Rescuer is really good. I don't know about you guys, but when my kids were a little bit younger, when it was bedtime, that's when they start complaining about their growing pains. You know, like my knee hurts, you know, or something else hurts, my leg hurts. And then they'll massage them and, you know, they'll fall asleep. But yeah, Deep Blue was awesome. It was very helpful. But now we have Rescuer. So any questions? It helps with bumps and bruises as well. Okay, you find that it, you know, gets better in half the time. So that was very helpful to know that. So now you have their skills. You've just got these oils, you can put them on, okay, for those kids. Right. All right, so for focus and grounding and learning, okay, just to help them stay engaged in their learning, we have these points on the body. Can you see that? So the back of the neck, you've got these 3 points, okay? And, you know, I didn't put here, but you can put the oils across your forehead. When you put oils, you know, just right across your forehead, you're actually accessing all the meridians, because all the meridians pass through your forehead. Okay, so you can put it on your wrists and your big toes, the bottom of your feet on big toes is, correlates to the head. And then of course, smelling it. And then sometimes it depends on the oil, you put it on the roof of your mouth. Okay, so if that's an ingestible oil, you can do that. Put it on your neck as well. Okay, so here are the oils that I like to use for focus and grounding and learning. So this is In Tune. That's the focus blend. So again, across your forehead, on the back of your neck, on the arms, big toes. I also have a brain balance dance on my website if you're interested in that, and it helps kids that have ADHD and autism to just have more focus and more connection. So that brain balance dance is a good dance to do along with using the oils. Okay, so here's another one, Thinker. These are different blends, but try the ones that you like, and you can even layer it on. Okay, stick them into the diffuser if you like. So the blend that I like to put together is wild orange and peppermint for learning. So when your kids are doing homework or studying and they get distracted very easily, right? Diffuse wild orange and peppermint, it helps them stay focused along with putting those oils on. So keeps them alert. Okay, and balance and vetiver. Right, so if your children get, distracted easily, you can put these on in the morning and just watch. There have been stories with my friends' kids that the teachers are like, hey, what did you do? Your child is a lot more focused and stuff, and they're not angry, or they're not naughty or whatever. Yeah, so try vetiver on the big toes, balance, and all of these spots. Okay, just do it in the morning, do it at nighttime, and when they go to school, it makes a huge difference. When I subbed for my kids in the Outback, I subbed because they were running out of teachers, and they knew that I was a teacher, so they asked me to come. And they're like, Jade, we just want you to know that we can smell your kids anywhere. I'm like, okay, especially during exam time. I'm like, okay, because they have this essential oil. And I'm like, yeah, okay. But yeah, that's what we do. We put it on every day. Okay. Any questions? You don't have to do all of these. These are the options. But if you want to, layer them on, it can't hurt. Yeah, I like to have results. So I'm like going to find all the oils that help with balance and with focus, and then I use them all. Okay. So I hope that was helpful. Okay. So at home, when the kids come home, I tell them to wash their hands right away. It's just a good habit, right? And they carry with them this On Guard sanitizing mist. And then now we also have the Abode hand wash. So that's the citrus bloom aroma in that. And those are fantastic to wash your hands with and kill the germs that are on your hands. Okay, so it's one of the easiest ways to stay healthy is just to wash your hands. Okay, so my kids don't use the hand sanitizers from the store. And they, when the teachers tell them to pump before they step out, they're like, I have my own. And they get to, to do that. And they're like, Mom, but what if this is the first time that they had this is years ago when they brought this to school. They're like, but Mom, what if the teacher doesn't let me? And she makes me do the hand wash, the hand sanitizer like the other kids. And I was like, well, you show her that you have this. And then they're like, okay, but what if she makes us do the other thing too? And I'm like, well, tell her you're allergic because you really are allergic to triclosan. It's a rat poison, right? It compromises our immunity. So that's what they use to kill germs. So triclosan. Yeah, to just let them know. Jamie.
Yeah, my 6-year-old does the same thing. She's like really brave, and she's like to her teacher, I have my own one. Can I go use it? And so every teacher knows that my kids don't use their products. and that they have one in their own bag and they'll go get it. I think it's really cute, and I love the size of it, and it's great. It's a great size to put in your bag. But on top of that, my kids love it so much that like my 9-year-old has sold a few bottles to her friends at school because she's like, "Oh, mum, do you have any spare? My friend wants to buy one." Yeah, and so she sold it to all her friends in her class. I think
Oh,
it's great, but yeah, like
yeah.
if they're brave enough to use it and they love it so much, they just want to share with others as well.
Yeah, that's so cute. Yeah, and you get into that habit, if you teach them to wash and spray their hands and stuff. When we went on vacation just recently, every now and then I see my kids like spray their hands, and I'm like, wow, they're like clockwork. They remember to do that. So that's good. All right, guys. Easy peasy, very affordable. Okay. Okay, lice. It's a nasty thing, but you know, we have to experience this, right? At least one time. So I like the TerraShield spray when my kids were in elementary school, when we braided their hair, when we make sure it's all back and braided and, out of the way so they don't have a lot of chance to catch it, but they still do anyways. Use the TerraShield spray. But when you do have a problem, here's what you do. You put fractionated coconut oil in the hair and then put a bunch of tea tree oil. And I actually used cedar wood on top of that as well. And then just put a shower cap on and leave it overnight so that the lice kind of suffocates. And then in the morning you shampoo and you comb it out. And it goes away, but you have to be diligent, yeah, that was the best solution that we found. Yeah, it's kind of gross thinking about it. Any questions or comments? Jamie, go ahead.
I have a recipe for a spray on my website, but what I like to do is make a blend with some conditioner just to make a leave-in conditioner, repel lice / healthy hair spray.
Yeah.
So just add like rosemary to help their hair, and also peppermint, because I think lice doesn't like peppermint and tea tree, and a couple of other oils. So you can sort of like make your own blend or make your own spray, and then it's like your detangler styling spray.
Yeah, so you remember it all the time.
Yeah, that way you can just pop it on before you style their hair.
Yeah. So we in doTERRA now, they have that leave-in conditioner. Yeah, what do you think about just adding those oils to it?
Yeah, that would work too.
Yeah, that's so good.
Yeah, you can add some, eucalyptus or something to make it smell nice, but also repel lice.
Yeah.
Rhymes.
So jamietarr.com.au. Yeah.
No, .com.
.com. Okay. So that's Jamie's website, and go find it. If you put it in the chat there, we could, people can find it as well.
Yeah.
A few years back, Dr. David Heal said that they discovered that essential oils, the pure essential oils, actually is absorbed by the hair. So that was new. That was new to them. They didn't know that your hair could do that, but your hair can absorb it. Anyways, I think it was Jamie or someone that told my daughter about lashes. And so she put some oils in her mascara, and her lashes are so much longer. And, that's the thing that all her friends comment on, is just the lashes. And I'm like, that's so clever to put oils in.
You can add lavender to your mascara. It helps like less clumping, but also, great for the eyelashes and also great for like infection.
Yeah.
What I actually do is at nighttime, when I put Yarrow Pom serum, body serum on my face, because it's really dry in winter, I'll add it to my eyelashes.
Oh,
Yeah.
idea.
It
Yeah.
works really well. Yeah,
Yeah, that's so good.
it's really nourishing.
The other thing too, I know if you have teenage girls, because I have teenage girls. Yeah,
Yeah,
so
I put it
drop
in
in the
the
bottle.
actual mascara bottle. Sorry, just answering Ashley.
Yeah,
I put it direct into the mascara.
yeah, perfect. I was just gonna say, you know, with your lip gloss and stuff, this is a beauty counter lip gloss. I just put a drop of spearmint oil in there, and you know, it makes your lips, you know, feel nice. So you can try that too. For my kids like that. Yeah, because we're girly in this family. Over here, we have hormone balancing for the teens. And this includes the boys too, okay? You know, we can do the bone nutrient, phytoestrogen and Claricalm. That's the women's health kit. You can buy that. But my kids take one of each, okay, just to balance it. My teenagers, when they were around 12, I kind of gave them this because I didn't want them to have their period too early. And that was great because they didn't get it until the end of the year of their 12th year. So that was really good. For boys, they could use it too because we eat the same food with the xenoestrogens, right? And the phytoestrogen kind of offsets the high level of xenoestrogens in our food. Whisper mixed with frankincense is good for boys as well. You know, when the teenagers are, you know, trying to figure out who they are, sometimes boys get too overly macho and they don't want to have feelings and they don't want to, you know, be hugged and loved and stuff. So my friend's son was like that, and she's like, Jade, what do I do? And actually, I muscle tested him for the whisper and frankincense. So I'm like, oh, okay, then let's mix it up and then, you know, rub it on him. So, you know, he balances that a little bit, you know, so that he's, you know, he wants to be macho and doesn't want to be feminine, and that's fine. But sometimes it's way too much. And she's like, I can't hug him anymore. He won't come to me anymore. I'm like, oh, okay. So that was what we discovered, and that really worked for him. So he's a sweetheart. Clary Sage, you know, for, you know, hormone balancing overall, the estrogen levels. And thyme is very good for testosterone and progesterone. So, you know, put that, dilute it on the ankles. Okay, so that will help. Debbie Westcott, with the foot zoning, would you put it somewhere else as well? Or is that good?
The thyme.
Yep.
Thyme is a hot oil, but if you're diluting it on the feet, I just like the gut area, the middle of the foot is a great place to put thyme oil as well.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. All right, there you go, guys. Any questions on that? Jamie, go ahead.
I just want to add, I think all floral oils are quite good for hormones.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't have teens yet, but I feel like my 9-year-old is sort of almost getting there. And so I'll just ask her to pick whatever hormone, like whatever floral oil she likes. And it's usually like jasmine or magnolia. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah. So whichever floral oil she likes, I just ask her to use it really often.
Yeah, that's brilliant. Mm-hmm. I like that idea. But if she's 9, she's getting there to get into that stage too. So any floral oils is a good start. So if you don't have these and you have some floral oils, you know, start there. Okay. All right. So, you know, kids react to synthetics a lot, and you may not even realize it. Years ago, when I first started with doTERRA, I had a family that the father is a chiropractor, the mom, she's a health person, and they try to eat healthy and everything, but they had all of these cleaners in their house that's toxic. So anyways, the son developed this really bad chronic asthma, and they had to homeschool him because they wanted to watch him and make sure that he doesn't overdo it and then have an asthma attack and die, right? And so it's really severe. Anyways, you know, I guess they missed it, you know, because they were trying to do healthy all the time. And here they didn't think to change out their cleaners. So I suggested that they swap out their cleaners with green cleaners, right? And swap out their products at home with, you know, healthier products. So when I came back to visit, they said it's been a whole year and the son has not had one asthma attack. And I thought, wow. So it might have been that, you know, he was reacting to all the chemicals around him, right? And they're like, didn't even know it was that serious. So yeah, try it, guys, and you'll find that the kids are happier, calmer, more relaxed. You know, I find that it's so interesting with my kids and their friends come over, and I've had comments where the kids are like, can I stay here? It's so peaceful here, and it's so nice here, and it smells so good. And I think it's just the atmosphere that we create, you know, with the oils, and because our kids are calm and focused and relaxed, you know, they feel that difference. So I'm like, wow, thank you. But yeah, just every little thing counts. So the hair, you know, shampoo, conditioner, the leave-in conditioner, all the things, and face wash. Our girls know that, you know, when they have breakouts, you know, that's because, you know, they haven't eaten well, they haven't slept well, you know, they need to balance their hormones. They know what to do. So anyways, it's just been so liberating to have like these toxic-free products, skincare, soaps and deodorant, makeup, perfumes. And my kids are very lucky. They have an aunt that sends them makeup, clean makeup. So that was good because I didn't know they needed it. But she's like, oh, you know, they need this lip gloss. And then slowly she adds to their collection. And then they love the oils as perfumes. And if I find that their friends really like being with them because they smell good. So, oh my, that's a bonus there. So any health concerns that they have, I've taught them to reference the books and stuff, and they go and fix it themselves, you know, tummy aches, digest them. And so they're not adding more toxins into their body. One thing that was most important for me was I saw the mental clarity. So when they have more mental clarity, they choose better choices. So, you know, when your teenagers have lots of friends and maybe some friends, you know, not the greatest influence sometimes, you know, our kids, they stand firm, and then they speak up and they speak out, and they just think clearly. And when you learn something, it retains, the information is retained. So overall, it's fantastic. Go ahead, Jamie.
I'd like to add that a lot of kids who have dandruff and stuff, it's generally because their shampoo has such strong chemicals, especially the perfumes in there. I think almost every product that's sold in like your supermarket has perfume in there, or fragrance. It says fragrance, but there's like thousands and thousands of chemicals that they don't need to disclose to you.
Yeah.
Which is why it's so harsh on their scalp.
Yeah.
And another product that I definitely recommend to all parents is that your laundry detergent can cause so many skin issues because of the harsh chemicals, and they wear those clothes every single day.
Yeah.
So if there's like one product that I would get rid of right away, laundry detergents.
Yeah, I agree. That's so good. Thank you for reminding us. And you know, our kids, because they're girls and you know they're teenagers, they get gifts like Bath and Beyond. What is it? Body Works. I don't know the brand anymore. But they get these gifts that have lotions and scrubs and things, and you know, it's like, oh, thank you, and they're like, what do we do with this, Mom? Because it's just chemicals. And I'm like, yes, but Bath and Body products. That's right. So anyways, they have to toss those because they know, and I don't have to tell them because they have these and they make their own. And you know, we had a fun activity one time. Just I brought the kids to the supermarket, and you know, we've been learning about the different ingredients and reading the ingredients. And I said, okay, let's do I Spy. And I think there were, you know, I think the oldest was probably 12 at that time. And I said, okay, mummy's looking for, you know, triclosan, you know, and so I'm like, go, you know, who finds it first? And then they grabbed a product off the shelf and turned it around, had to look through it, and like, I found one, mom, I found one, mom. And they're like, oh my gosh, why is it in toothpaste? Oh my gosh, why is it in these shampoos? And I'm like, I know, right? And I said, you know, 10,000 milligrams per kilo is a lethal dosage, right? And they're like, what? And I'm all, okay, here's another one, phthalates, go find phthalates, you know. And then they go, me, I found one. So it was just like eye-opening for them to see that, hang on, these products are not just like, you know, innocent sitting on the shelf there. They're actually very harmful. You know, my cousin, like Jamie was saying, she had all this dandruff, and she's like, nah, I don't want to use that. You know, it's kind of expensive. And I said, girlfriend, just try it. You know, if you don't like it, then, you know, I'll take it back. Anyways, she used it, and she's like, oh my gosh, like I cannot live without it, because like immediately her hair had no dandruff. And then she ran out, and she's like, well, you know, I don't want to buy and spend more money. So she went back to her old shampoo and dandruff again. And then she's like, nope, I'm done. I get it. I get the message, right? I'm worth it. And so, you know, they learn from experience. You know, with the skincare products too, you know, just don't put more toxins on your skin, right? You know, sometimes you have like really bad acne and stuff, and I'm like, I teach them how to take care of their skin and why their skin looks like that. Have you slept well lately? Have you been stressed lately? You know, and have you taken care of your gut? And you know, all of these things. And then it's like, oh yes. And then they take ownership and fix themselves instead of like, I'm broken, give me a, you know, bring me to the doctors, give me something. You know, they take ownership. Yep, I did that to myself. Like, here's how I change. So that's awesome. Any questions or comments? All right, so here we are. It's not just teenagers, we have kids from all ages, you know, mood management. Debbie has a Sour Patch grandson. But he's got personality, right? So anyways, here we are, morning. You can use the Arise oil in Australia. It's called, what is it called, Arise? Jamie, do you want to help me out?
I don't remember. Ascend?
Yeah. Okay, so we have Cheer. Let me find Arise. 1 second. Arise is Ascend. Yeah. Okay, so Cheer, Citrus Bliss, Peppermint, On Guard, and fantastic oils to wake up the family. And my friend, she's an early bird, and her whole family, her husband and her 2 kids are not. And so she gets a little bit of time for herself, but then she kind of has to like make them wake up and stuff. And so she realized that when she puts these oils in the diffuser, they wake up earlier. So it's a good wake up oil to, you know, sometimes they get groggy and grumpy. And especially for me, I teach, so this year I'm teaching 14 kids at my house at 5:40 in the morning, a Bible study. I know, we're like, you crazy, Jane, right? So I get to use those oils a lot, you know, just kind of switch them out and, you know, be good, so good, help them stay awake. Okay, so when the kids are stressed at school, teach them to use Adaptive. My girls love Beautiful as well, but they each have Adaptive in their bags. And, you know, when it's exam time and stuff, they take it out, they rub it and they smell it. And then, you know, they share it with their friends, and, you know, they just kind of calm down. And yeah, it's been great. So we've got straight A kids. Balance is another one. Brave, Karma, Larry Calm. Okay, those are really good for stress and anxiety. Kind of teach them how to use it, tell them to use the ones that they like. And then I also sit them down and explain why, you know, why were you stressed and, you know, anxious? And it's like, yeah, I guess because I feel like I can't do it. And I said, does that make sense? Can you do it? Yes, I can, you know, then change that negative self-talk to, I can do this, I can do this. So make that association with these oils, and then, you know, cheer yourself on. Okay, and In Tune is another one that helps calm you down. These are blends. I like blends better than single oils sometimes because, you know, they get all of the same chemical constituents or similar, and then it's all in one, so you have extra power. I had a boy that has severe severe autism, and his mum taught him how to use just frankincense. And, you know, he used to pick up furniture, throw it at people, and things so scary. And she said that one time he was very mad, and then he was like screaming out, frankincense, frankincense. And the family ran around the house finding his frankincense, and then he smelled it and he calmed down. And she was like, oh, it was so good. It was so different to how he used to be. So it's brilliant. Okay, rest and sleep. You know, I have teenagers now, so sometimes they get so stressed they can't sleep. And you know, watching movies before bed isn't a good way to sleep. So just reminding them, I don't have phone rules, but I just remind them, put the adaptive on or balance, whatever. Just teach them these are the oils that you want to use to kind of help you, you know, relax and go to sleep. So they know that there's solutions. Okay, vetiver smells like campfire, but put it on the big toes. It's amazing. Spikenard is another root oil. It's kind of expensive, but it's, oh boy, so good. And you know, the Karma, the Claricam is wonderful as well. Okay, just learn how to use them. Okay. All right. So special mood management for confident and secure. Okay, so there can be any age, and you know they feel that insecurity, right? And they want their friends to tell them they're good enough. But we can, you know, feel good about ourselves without needing everyone to validate all the time. So bergamot, beautiful, cassia, Douglas fir, fennel, grapefruit, coriander, pink and black pepper. So you can smell it. You can rub it on the bottom of your feet. Okay, and then say the affirmation that goes with it. You know, I have a book that's called the Using the Gifts of the Earth with Faith. You can find it on Amazon or on my website. And it tells you kind of some of the affirmations that you can use for those oils. Okay, that really helps. Okay, and social support, marjoram. When you feel like I can't connect to these people, cedarwood, coriander, neroli, adaptive. Okay. You know, because the kids are at school, they're learning how to make friends. So it's very important to help them do that. Indecisiveness, cassia, cinnamon, lemon, ginger, spearmint. Okay, indecisiveness as in, you know, like being firm and deciding on what you want instead of like letting your friends' opinions, you know, being your answer. Okay. So when you're frustrated and you're impatient with yourself or with others, because, you know, we need to learn to get along, right? Cardamom, lemongrass, cilantro, wintergreen, and spikenard. Right, any questions or comments? Anyone want to add to this? Right. So I like my kids to write affirmation cards, you know, just, you know, the note cards, the index cards, and then just write a few affirmations on there. And when they use the oils at nighttime and in the morning, they say it. And it kind of makes a huge difference. They don't have that same old problem repeated. And over, you know, the course of the year, you see how they've changed. Yeah, a lot more confident. Sometimes we can't say, oh, just be confident. Oh, just be calm. You know, we need a little bit of help. And these oils are fantastic to help. Anybody have any stories or experiences they want to share?
I'll share. So I ran a daycare and preschool for about 20 years, and I closed it in 2016. But anyway, I asked permission from parents to use oils on the kids because mornings were challenging for some of them. Sometimes, not all the time, but when they would come in the door, and if I could tell that they were a little bit unsettled, we pulled out what we called our happy oil, and it was wild orange. And you ask one kid if they want some happy oils, and they put it on their hands and then smell it, then all of the kids start coming over, like I'm like the Pied Piper of oils, and all the kids are coming over and getting oils. But yeah, we would see a difference within seconds in like their demeanor and just how they felt, and it was awesome.
Yeah. Kids are
Yeah.
so great that way. Yeah,
Yeah.
they respond so quickly and they don't have to believe that their body just responds to the oils. Yeah. And even have the kids smell it and just be intuitive. You just use the ones that their body likes the most. Okay. I really like spikenard, you know, when it comes to like frustration and impatience and stuff. So yeah, put that on the bottom of the feet at night time. Go ahead, Jamie.
I get my kids to choose what oils they want to put in their diffuser, and also what oils they want to put in their water bottle. And that kind of gives me an indication of how they're feeling. And because my kids are younger than yours, like they can't really explain in detail of how they're feeling, but because of whatever oil that they gravitate to, it helps gives me an idea of how they're feeling. And that's when we can talk about certain things, and I can have like a starting point of how to, you know, dig into what they're feeling.
Yeah. I did a session on a 7-year-old boy, and you know, I tested an emotion, and then I held up the oil box, you know, and he put his hand over it and he picked it out. And then I opened the book and I showed the mum, and the emotion we just mentioned was in that book, that page. And we did that 5 times straight. And she was like, what, how does he know? And I'm like, kids are intuitive. Just let them tell you what's happening. And I like what Jamie said there. You want to have a conversation and see where they're at. You know, they can gravitate to an oil and then smell it, and then you're like, okay, let's talk about this. Yeah. And chances are that you're right on the money there. Yeah. So like with my twins, I don't know why. Get this, they're the youngest. They liked fennel when they were younger. Fennel, and that's the oil responsibility. And I'm like, you can have all the fennel you want. That's great. Yeah. Alrighty. So it's almost time. I just have this slide to share with you. It's very important at this time to help separate who you are and what you do. Okay, I think even adults, when they haven't learned this in their childhood, they suffer so unnecessarily as adults, right? So separate what you do and who you are. So, you know, you can make mistakes and stuff, but you're still the beloved child of God. You're still loved by mom and dad. You're still unconditionally loved, okay? So even when they make mistakes, it doesn't, you know, make them bad. So listen to their wording and realize, you know, jump on that and really help them separate. Because it's like, oh, I do this wrong and I didn't get an A, you know, my friend's not talking to me no more, therefore I suck, you know. But no, you're still a beloved, you know, beautiful child that mommy and daddy love. Even though these things might happen, even though you might not, you know how to do this well or whatever, it doesn't make you less than. So, I mean, we keep on reminding our kids of that, and that's good. And they're getting it now. Labels and limitations, you know, again, it's not who you are. So like my daughter, Genevieve, she was like, I hate it when the kids call me smart. And I said, well, you know, isn't that like a nice label, you know? And she's like, no. And I said, why? Because I'm just trying to get her to talk. Because it doesn't give her an opportunity to be silly, to mess up. Because, you know, like a smart person can't make mistakes or whatever. So to her, so it kind of boxes her in and kind of limits her. And so she doesn't like it. And I said, oh, that's good. So you're just Genevieve. And she's like, yes. And I'm like, good. So, you know, and we don't want to be like, I'm the sporty one and I'm this happy one, I'm this smart one. Yeah, no. Before all of that, you're just this beautiful child of God. And so don't even go there, because it starts to limit you. And then I teach them to set standards and personal creeds and have dreams and goals and things. So my 15-year-old, her dream is to be a doctor that is a surgeon, a heart surgeon, but she wants to help people heal their hearts on a spiritual level. And she's like, Mom, I'm going to change the face of healthcare. And I'm more, she's 15, you know, well, brilliant, do it, right? And so, you know, I had adults that said to me, like, no one's ever asked me what dream I want. No one ever asked me, you know, what do I want to do in life? How do I want to serve humanity? One of the kids that my kids' friends, they come over and I'm like, what do you want to be? When you grow up? And they're like, well, I don't know. I need to find a job, you know, something that can help me find a job. And then I asked my child, and she's like, well, I don't know. I think this and this and this, so I can serve humanity, you know. And and then the girl was like, that's a good idea. And I said, yeah, do what you like to serve humanity. And she's like, well, yeah, okay. And that's something else that, you know, it's not like go to college, get a job so I can make money. You know, we can make money, it comes. But yeah, and then there's personal creeds. And so they will make mistakes and stuff like that. But, you know, one of the twins, she was like, Mom, I decided I don't want to date until this age, you know, and, you know, the guy has to be like this and this and this. And I'm like, great, okay. You know, just kind of set some boundaries, set some standards for yourself, because, you know you, right? So that, you know, you're not going to drink or smoke or do drugs or whatever. Just make some rules for yourself. So, you know, it helps them, you know, to say no. Okay. So communicate and share yourself. So we help our children with lots of words and to help them explain who they are, what they're thinking, because we have these oils, like, you know, really helps with descriptive words. And so we encourage them to identify what they like and what they don't like. Even when my twins were growing up, I had an activity where I had 2 pieces of paper, one for each, and then one in the middle. And so there's 3 pieces of paper total. And you can do this with siblings too. So I said, okay, you want to interview each other and find out what you guys like, what you guys don't like. So they start with the typical, what's your favorite color? You know, what's your favorite movie? And then they start talking more and more. And then I kind of nudge them and, you know, put out some things like, hey, what about, you know, what if this happens? What would you do? And they're like, oh, I would do this. Oh, really? I would do this. And they're like, great. So that's different about you guys. So write it down. I'm this and I'm this. But look at this. We've got so many things that are similar. And it's okay. It's okay to be similar, right? So sometimes when they try to identify themselves, sometimes we go too far to the extreme and that I want to be totally different over here. I'm just going to rebel against everything and everyone, right? Just so that I can feel different, right? So that activity helps them know that I'm okay to be different here and I'm okay to be the same here, right? And this makes me, all of this, my strengths, my weaknesses, and I'm allowed to change and I'm allowed to evolve. And so with that activity, they kept going, you know, but not, you know, with paper and stuff, but they're, you know, they have that conversation now. And so as they go along, like, oh, I like this. And it's okay to not like the same thing as your friends. It's okay not to like the same things as your siblings and your parents. So, you know, you don't breed, you know, over, you know, I guess, over accommodating kids. Okay. Right. Then they're just pleasers. So regular heart-to-heart conversations. My sister likes to use that word, heart-to-heart. So, you know, that's what happens at the table, right? When we sit and eat, we articulate feelings. So one time one of my twins was saying something and then I'm like, hang on, that sounds like you're flirting with the guy. And she's like, oh, is that what flirting is? You know, I'm like, yes. And she's like, oh my gosh, you know, like they didn't know what it looked like or felt like. So I'm like, oh, okay, you. So, you know, we identify feelings. I put that twice, so I guess it's very important. And, you know, I want them to be open. So, you know, I'm like, you have any crushes on anybody? You know, what do you like about him? You know, and, you know, the next week they're over it and, you know, so they like somebody else. So that's fine. But it's great to have that relationship so that when things get difficult, and you have really deeper and more meaningful conversations, they are free to go to you because they're used to talking to you. Okay, so we start that when they're younger. So that when they're younger, just talking about stuff, friends, and what do you like her, you know, what do you like to do with her, and you know, just so good because then they think things through and think aloud, and you can guide them through that. Be relatable, share stories of when you were their age and what you learned about yourself. Because sometimes parents are embarrassed or they want to not tell their kids how they messed up. So at first I thought that, but then I changed my mind and I shared with them. And like my Emily, she had the best expression, and she was like, Mom, if you were my age right now, we would be best friends, because I think that same way and I do that same thing too. And I'm like, oh, but you know, they feel like they're not, you know, inadequate, right? And mommy and daddy figured it out, and we finally figured it out. So they have hope that they can figure stuff out too. So it's not like, why can't I know those things? Why don't I have those answers like you do? And I'm like, well, I have a couple of years on you, right? But when I was your age, I did the same thing too, right? And here's where all my boo-boos are, right? So anyways, it's fun. They love us telling stories about our crushes and our dates and how embarrassing things are, and yeah, so that's great. And then reminding them to own their own power of choice, that you know, they can choose their response in any situation, and blaming and complaining gives away your power to choose, and then teaching them that everything is solvable. So we pretty much chant this a lot, and you know, they know after they panic or freak out or whatever about assignments and whatnot, they calmly say to themselves, everything is solvable. And
Sorry.
you know, if you feel the feels, then you're responsible for changing it. Okay, so you know, it's like, she said this and I'm mad at her, and then I'm like, pause, who's feeling the feeling? You. So who needs to change? You. And it's like, oh, okay, yeah. So just kind of teach and train them that, right? So then they'll have a great year at school because they know how to you know, manage themselves. So our goals is to create empowered, spiritually mature, happy, healthy adults, right? And that's that, you know, beyond doing well in school, that's what we want. And we want to help direct them to their divine potential and purpose. And through these conversations that you have, through their struggles, you know, they learn more about themselves and they learn about their loves and interests and things, and then you can guide them to finding their, you know, career and future, you know, things that they want to do. So I find like this is a really, you know, privileged position that we get to be in as parents. Anyone want to add anything? Questions, comments?
Yes.
Go ahead, Teresa.
I didn't go to sleep. I just had to take care of something, had to step outside. Never give up.
Yeah.
Our oldest son dropped out of high school, got into meth. It was a very bad scene. We got him back eventually. He wasn't really very happy, but eventually he, instead of doing a GED, he got his diploma. Then he went and got a bachelor's degree. Then he went and got a master's and a doctorate.
Wow.
And he's got the job of his dreams. He says it's closest he could get to fishing all the time. He's a fisheries research manager for the state of Utah.
Oh,
Yeah.
That's a good story. Thank you so much.
You never
for
give
that.
up.
Exactly. Yeah. And my philosophy is, you know, I'm so blessed to have a wonderful dad. My mom's wonderful too, but my dad and I, we had a lot more conversations. And so when I started my family, I planned ahead and I thought about the different things. I had lots of conversations with my husband. We took courses and things.
Mhm.
But, you know, with our children, one of the simplest lessons that I learned was love them, marinate them in love, and then when they get older, they're juicy. You know, that's the lesson I learned. So I thought, you know, that's the best way to summarize what we're all doing here.
Yes.
Yeah. So just trust that it'll happen. You know, they'll come around and they'll be nice and juicy. And so they are then like loving and cuddly and just happy. So yeah, that's a beautiful message, Teresa. Thank you. You know, I'll end here. If anybody that doesn't have a wholesale account, go ahead and contact the person that shared with you this video or brought you here. Okay, we'd love to help you and in any way. Okay, and then also we, you know, please connect to us on social and subscribe and comment below on the videos. Okay, thank you. I'm going to stop the recording now and we can have a conversation off the record.